We are interested in crowdsourcing. It means promoting online collaborative ways of solving difficult problems with the collaboration of many participants, and for this reason we develop an online collaborative tool. Crowdsourcing in an extended way may imply all acts of collective intelligence through interactions that are mediated by internet. And clearly this ranges from price estimation, crowdfunding, information elaboration, like for instance what Google does. And also collaboration can be applied to science, like the SETI-like investigation, and also, what is quite important, societal challenges. And for instance, sustainability, e-democracy, and all kind of application of collective awareness platforms. And the problem is what is the best way of promoting this collaboration and the arising of collective intelligence? Which are the drawbacks that we have to overcome? We have to keep in mind that the human dimensions are important. We only recently have evolved outside our native dimension, I mean a small village of about 150 people. Now we are an enormous amount of people, billions, but our fundamental brain is the same. And so, for instance, in Facebook we have 1.3 billion users of about 750 millions that are active in every day, but of these only a tiny amount do belong to our real neighborhood. We interact with a number of people that is essentially the same as we did when we were in the Neolithic age. And so we have to keep in mind that there are dimensions that are hardwired inside our brain. For instance, the talk group is formed by about 5 people, 4 or 5 people. The small group, which is the group where new ideas are developed, is about 12, 15 people. Then we have the Dunbar number, which is the size of a typical Neolithic community of about 150 people, which is also the size of our address book. And finally there is the crowd. The crowd is felt as a very powerful individual. So when faced with a crowd, we are intimidated. And this applies also to online collaboration. So for instance, if I just have to raise my hand and pronounce the discourse or present my opinion in face of a crowd, I am not so very supported by my colleagues, while if I develop my idea first in a small group, I am much more empowered. So we have to use a human model of communication that can also be applied to teaching and learning. And indeed, we have a lot of insights from the cognitive studies that say, for instance, that we are trying to synchronize our brain through communication, but it implies a codification and a decodification phase, and also that the embodiment part is quite important, and this means that not only we communicate through words, but also by sights and also by non-cognitive messages, I mean emotional messages. For instance, science cafes are experiments in which we try to recreate an environment that promotes participation. So instead of organizing a discussion in a university hall where people are intimidated by the disposition of the bodies and also by the fact that they are not at home, we promote discussions in environments like pubs or bar or every place where people are at home and the experts are on the peer ground with the rest of the people. And we want to port these aspects to the Science Cafe platform, so we are trying to recreate a kind of environment both for World Cafe and for Science Cafe. And so, for instance, we are promoting the ideas of having a visual interaction with people, but also to have rooms or tables where people can recreate a small group and promote new ideas, discuss among peers before facing the crowd. And this is what inspired our efforts.